BlackBerry has been reinvented. It has an all-new multi-touch operating system and all-new hardware that looks a lot more like an iPhone or an Android phone than the old traditional BlackBerrys you may have been used to. Hi, this is Walt Mossberg from the Wall Street Journal, and this week I tested the new reimagined, reinvented BlackBerry, and here are 5 things to know about it. First, there will be 2 models, at least in the short run, of the new line of BlackBerries. The first, being announced this week, is called the Z10, and it's an all-touch model that, again, looks a lot like the multi-touch phones you're used to seeing around. And then a little later, they'll have something called the Q10, which does have a physical keyboard like older BlackBerries, but still runs the new operating system, which is called BB10. The Z10, the first one, the one that I think they're making a priority, is expected, the company says, to cost $199. It will be available on all 4 major U.S. carriers, and they expect it to be available around March. The second thing to know about the BlackBerry are what its biggest strengths are. In my opinion, after testing it for about a week, I think its biggest strengths are, ironically, the best out-of-the-box virtual keyboard I've seen on a smartphone. It has very clever predictive typing, and it learns your mistakes as it goes along. It also has a really cool feature called BlackBerry HUB, which is one swipe away from wherever you are on the device, and it aggregates all of your email accounts, your text messaging, your BlackBerry Messenger messages, and status updates from things like Facebook and Twitter. The third big cool feature, I think, is that in the camera, they have a thing called TIMESHIFT, where if you're taking a picture of a group of people, you can home in on one face and, using a circular control, try to get the best possible shot of that face during the time you took the picture. So those are the biggest strengths. Biggest weaknesses, really the most important weakness, is app selection. At launch, the Z10 will have 70,000 apps. Sounds like a lot, but it's about 10% or less of what Apple and Android have, and there will be some important apps missing at launch, at least. Apps like Gmail. There won't be a Gmail app or a Google Maps app. There won't be Spotify. There won't be Pandora. There won't be Instagram. And there'll be a bunch of other things missing. The other weakness is it doesn't have a native cloud ecosystem like Google Drive or iCloud or Microsoft SkyDrive native to it, so that you can't sync or share photos or data from the phone with a BlackBerry-based cloud ecosystem. You can do some of that with third-party apps like Box or Dropbox, but it's not quite the same as having a built-in cloud ecosystem. The biggest plus for RIM in this new reinvented phone is that it gets them into the game of true modern multi-touch app platforms on smartphones. And if they didn't do that, if they hadn't done that, they, I think, would continue their downward spiral, because it really has been very hard for app developers to build apps for the older BlackBerry platform. Now they have a platform which at least gives them a chance. The biggest weakness, and this is the 5th point, is that they may be making a kind of tweener device, a device which traditional BlackBerry fans may not like so much because it doesn't have the physical keyboard, and it's really quite different to operate than a regular BlackBerry from the past. Whereas people who might be looking to switch from an Android phone or an iPhone could be turned off by the lack of apps and the lack of a cloud ecosystem. So that's the short version of my much more detailed review of the new BlackBerry Z10 and BlackBerry BB10 operating system. This is Walt Mossberg, and I'll see you next week.